caller. We got the official representative for the Behringer Bros, and we got the crab meat synthesizer SynthPunk. How's it going, my brother?
Pretty good.
Long time no see.
I got the crab meat synthesizer t-shirt out.
And you got the Super Dome. What do you call it? The Power Dome?
It's the Energy Dome.
The Energy Dome, dude. Nice. So, man, what a turn of events for our old friends at Moog, huh?
Yeah, I listened to those demos.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was texting you today, I said you could buy a used Sequential, a Dave Smith Mofo keyboard for $550.
Yeah.
And it can do 100 times more than the Labyrinth.
And how much is the Labyrinth? The Labyrinth is $599, I guess it's going for?
Probably. I'm guessing it's going to be the same price point.
So I guess what we got here, let's just do a recap for anybody who's listening or tuning in here real quick. What's up, Plant Powered Muscle? So we got the Moog Labyrinth. You and I collaborated months and months and months and months and months ago. It seems like lifetimes ago now. The internet moves so fast. With letting the world know via you, then via me, that the Moog Labyrinth was coming. Nobody believed us, and to be honest, it came quicker than I expected. Do you think?
Yeah, but what you were saying today,
yeah,
Moog didn't even do like a legitimate demo.
They didn't do a legitimate demo. They rolled it out at Super Booth and then took it right off the internet to distract from the Moog Muse debacle they created, just to muddy the pot. And and now they somehow, some guys somewhere on YouTube, what's up, Etarian? Somewhere on YouTube got a hold of this Moog Labyrinth. There's like, right now, I've counted 3 people on YouTube, and they all seem to be 26 or 30 subscribers, 100 subscribers. I don't know how they got a hold of it. They all said in the video today that they found a link on Facebook that got put there somehow of a store online that then sold it to them.
Right.
What do you think?
Is it even available at Sweetwater?
I checked Sweetwater. The links are down. They're all down. The only place it was available was in that video. That dude showed the Facebook link to, I don't know what store it was. And man, it's out. So I don't know. What do you think?
It was in the United States, though.
I guess To the Boy sounded American. I mean, I guess
it was purchased in the United States.
Purchased in the United States, yeah. So I mean,
what's it? Eternian, right?
Yeah.
Like eternal.
Yeah, the eternal.
He says Moog is finished, lads.
Listen, man, as the representative, the unofficial representative for the Behringer Bros, to me that demo sounded like a Behringer Edge, dude. I mean, it really sounded like a Behringer Edge. I love those two guys because they got a hold of it somehow. And then I seen Heinbach threw in a comment. He was like, "Way to go!" He was like, "Way to go, guys! No NDA. You got the scoop on Moog or something like that." And I'm like, "This is fishy, man. There's something fishy going on."
Okay, here's the thing. When I heard those demos, the demos were kind of lo-fi. They weren't like really good recordings, you know? Yeah. And judging by what it was doing, the subharmonicon is much better.
I think so too.
The subharmonicon is, I've tried the subharmonicon, the DFAM, and the Mother 32. I've tried all 3 of those, and my favorite of the 3 is the subharmonicon.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Well, and also for me, you know, I would never buy a Mother 32 over a Crave. I would never buy a DFAM over a Behringer Edge. And a lot of people I know that got the Behringer Edge think that the Behringer Edge actually sounds way better than the DFAM. Plus, I think it's got like a MIDI or something that the other one doesn't. It's got something that the DFAM doesn't have. I don't know the details, but so anyways, let's just get the ground rules down here. What the hell is Moog doing?
I think it's all Jack O'Donnell. I think Jack O'Donnell is, I don't know. I think he's losing his mind. I think he has a chip on his shoulder about Bob Moog too. Definitely.
So you think So, I mean, I've had some thoughts where I'm like, is he trying to bury Moog? Because listen, all Moog, go on, yeah.
Let me. This is kind of far-reaching, but okay. For instance, hold on one second.
Yeah.
So, this right here, is a Garrison guitar.
Uh-huh.
Okay, guess where it was made?
China.
Canada.
Really?
It was
They're
made in
still they're still
Canada.
they're still making stuff up there?
No, listen. This Garrison guitar was made by this young guy in his mid-20s in Canada. Garrison was able to sell their guitars from like 400 to like $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing, they sounded better or equal to a Martin that was 3,000 or a Taylor that was $3,000.
Okay.
So Gibson comes in, buys out Garrison,
Mm-hmm.
and a year after, no more Garrison.
Okay.
Gone.
So, are you maybe saying that In Music may have bought Moog to take all of their proprietary design, schematics, everything that is under the Moog umbrella, and make a new company once they just totally collapse? Because listen, they're doing nothing for the Moog name right now.
No, they
They're
took.
dra- they're dragging it through the mud here, man. Their marketing's garbage. The engineers are pissed off. The rollout of the Muse is an absolute disaster, or it's genius. I haven't decided yet. And this rollout of the Labyrinth is totally. If this is if somebody sent these off and they got out before Moog was even able to do one video and get it to one of the Synth Mafia members, they
Right.
blew it, bro. They blew it. Unless they're trying to do the lo-fi thing because they're gonna cheapen the product so much that they're trying to let everyone know that every man can have it. You know? I
Yeah.
don't know, man. What do you think?
When you and I way back, we were breaking the story about the Moog Muse, which was
Mirror,
originally the Moog. What was it? The Moog
the mirror.
Mirror, right? When you and I were breaking that story, think about like the thing with Andrew Wong, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Wong, they did that photo op. They did what's the guy's name? Dean?
Yeah, Dean, Mike Dean.
Mike Dean, right? Did that lo-fi, and I know for a fact because I was talking to one of the software engineers. I'm not
Yep.
going to mention his name, protect him, but he was telling me that a lot of people were pissed off because they let Mike Dean make a demo like that was recorded with
On,
like a microphone from a cell phone.
yep.
It wasn't recorded into a mixing console or
Yeah,
into a DAW.
it pissed off a lot of the engineers. So that must have been made without consultation of the team, and that's why a lot of them got pissed off. Um,
Well,
do you
Steve,
think there
let me
could be?
let,
Yeah, go on.
let me just talk. Steve Elbow says they don't want to kill that brand. That brand is still worth money. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of worth money. Like, I mean, what are you talking about? Used gear?
I mean, they had to sell the company because they couldn't operate. So
They look at all the other companies that got stuff out before them. Oberheim, okay? Oberheim, Arturia. Arturia is not a gigantic company,
mm-hmm.
you know? I mean, we're talking about Arturia is still kind of it's a little past its infancy as a company because they've been around doing software for a long time, but hardware not so much. Okay, they're still kind of in their infancy, but they're Arturia is kicking butt.
Yeah,
So
big time.
a company like Moog, who has been doing this since the '60s, what's going on?
Okay, so yeah, take that example here. So Steve Elbows is like, would you really bet money on the Muse not being raved about? The Muse is going to be raved about because the Muse and Moog have went around and given out a ton of NDAs to all the synth mafia to demo this thing. So 100% it's going to be raved about. And it's going to be raved about until someone gets it in their house and the firmware is fucking brutal. It's not working properly. I'm not saying that this is all going to happen. I'm just saying that, of course, it's going to be raved about. That's the whole idea behind a synthesizer release and advertising and marketing is going to be raved about. Of course, it's going to be raved about. And I'm going to rave about it too. I'll rave about it all day.
You're gonna kiss Jack O'Donnell's ass?
You are. So, dude, listen. What do you think they're doing with the Labyrinth here? Sabotage, incompetence, a vendor error. I don't think it's a vendor error. You don't break the embargo date by accident. Unless the embargo date's like today, and they did it 12 a.m. by accident.
You would think that people like Jorb would have had it.
Exactly. I mean, this whole thing makes no sense. You want to know my personal opinion? I think that they pissed off so many people at Moog that that someone sabotaged the release of the Labyrinth. That's what I think. I think somebody either sent an email or something to a specific vendor, or sent something out to all the vendors, and then most of the vendors double checked, and then some vendors were like, maybe this was a small one that was like, all right, let's get this out right now. There's a hot product. Holy crap, let's be the first. And they didn't like double check. I think they got sabotaged, man.
It could have been people who were fired, who were on the precipice of being fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's think about it. It's like Moog doesn't have the building anymore. They're not going to have the tours. They're not going to have people coming in and looking at all the synthesizers from old and the new ones. They're stopping production on the Moog 1,
mm-hmm.
which really, this is what I heard from people on the inside. The Moog 1 hemorrhaged the company.
Really?
Yes.
Well, just for statistical purposes, 5 years to create, only been on sale for 6 years. Over 3,000, 3,500 units total were sold. So R&D, salaries, development, production, they must have lost their shirt on the Moog 1.
Or maybe broke even by a hair.
Yeah. But guess what? You're a business. You're not into the game of breaking even.
Right.
So like, and it didn't work.
They did so many things after Bob died. Like the mini Mogerfoger pedals,
Mm-hmm.
the smaller ones, and their Mogerfogers, honestly, that was a real desperate attempt to make something small to keep them afloat.
Yeah. And dude, look what you got behind you. You're a Moog lover, dude. You're no hater of Moog.
Yeah, of course not. I don't hate Moog.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Bob Moog.
Yeah.
I love some of the engineers who used to work there who are not working there anymore.
So, do you think that Moog will be around in 4 years? What's going to be Moog's arc right now? Because right now Moog's arc is this. They just merged in music, and their arc at the moment, if you want to just talk about reputation and publicity, is going like that. It's going down, and it's just not good at the moment. I don't think
people are losing confidence with
exactly.
Moog. That's it.
And Moog's brand was confidence.
I mean, look at, you don't have Dave Smith. You've got Tom Oberheim is like the only person with a face.
Yeah.
Who's like talking to the public. There's not, like, Amos Gaines was a big dude at Moog.
Yeah.
Amos Gaines was conducting all the Moog 1 demos on YouTube. And I'm friends with Amos. And I tried to pry stuff out of Amos. And all he said was to me, he's like, John, I don't want to talk about it. It's too depressing. I don't want to go back there.
Really?
That's how bad. Yeah. Amos Gaines, who was, he was the Moog boy. You know, Bob was gone. Amos Gaines was like creating the vibe, keeping Bob's memory alive.
Mm-hmm.
And Amos wants nothing to do with a discussion about it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Amos Gaines. If you look at some of the old YouTube Moog videos, Amos is on them, talking about the subsequent 37, talking about the sub 37, talking about the little fatty. Yeah,
So okay,
Amos Gaines.
what is the point of this Labyrinth release right now?
It's real sketchy.
Is it a stall tactic because they know the Muse isn't going to be ready, and they're like, and old McDonald was like, "What the hell is ready here? What have you guys got ready? Show me what you got ready." And
It
they're like,
could have
"The
been you.
Labyrinth is, I guess, ready." And he's like, "Get it out."
You just made me think of something just now. Maybe it's employees pissing off Jack O'Donnell.
Well, it
You
seems like
know,
there is a little bit of, what do you call it? Maybe there's some mutiny going on
animosity,
in the company.
animosity.
Yeah. And like you said, if people are gearing up to leave, you know what happens, man. People get together, man. If they've been scorned, I don't know. This is all just hearsay and speculation. We're just gaming out because none of this makes any sense. And if anybody's listening to this and they think that the Moog Muse rollout made sense and is making sense, and I'm not saying it's not going to be an awesome product, it might be, but we're just talking about the present moment. We only got to deal with what we got to deal with. The Moog Muse has been a disaster rollout, and now their
Totally.
their second product under the In Music banner, which has somehow become their first product now, has been released apparently by a store breaking the embargo and a couple of dudes on YouTube with small channels doing demos of it, and that doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy.
Something stinks.
It's totally crazy.
Something stinks. I can smell it from here.
Oh,
You
something
smell it?
totally, yeah, something totally stinks. I don't it's so embarrassing. This whole thing about, like the thing with Mike Dean and Andrew Wong, and all these little teases of the Moog and those two brothers. Remember those
Yeah,
two brothers?
the Aisley brothers or
Yeah,
something.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, those guys
yeah.
were like Dave Smith would never do that.
But okay, what were they doing? Okay,
No,
so what were they trying to do with these little things? Were they just like shooting from the hip? Who was organizing this marketing campaign?
I mean, even think about this. Even Behringer with the UBXA, even Behringer with the UBXA, Behringer UBXA has taken almost 7 years, right?
Yeah,
But there was that one guy on YouTube. What was his name? The guy that did a lot of the UBXA demos.
Synth King.
Synth King. Yeah.
Yeah,
Think about that. At
yeah.
least Behringer was making these videos. Well, not Behringer wasn't making them, but Synth King was making them for Behringer.
But see, this is where Moog is missing the boat here. Is they're not okay. So Moog's community, and I wasn't a part of it, but Moog's community are diehard. They've been with them forever, and it's a bunch of people who don't mind spending a lot of money because they believe the product is going to be quality, and they believe it's going to be made by people who really care about it. And Moog built that reputation over years and years and years and years.
Right.
When they come out now and they do these half-assed teasers and everything, they'd be better off if they just had a guy with a camera walking around the Moog factory, giving you hints about what's coming. Like you said, maybe send a demo synth off to someone and let them mess around with it and show you what it's going to be. And then you're bringing people for the ride, like the Synth King did with the UBXA, which Behringer probably had the foresight to be, yeah, man. Let's just keep, because Behringer knows that you just keep people interested. You can tell them the JT16 is coming, and it doesn't matter if it comes 10 years later because you keep telling them it's coming and showing them pictures and then bringing out prototypes. It's like, it makes way more sense. In this day and age, it makes way more sense.
So let me go back to the Moog 1 demos on the Moog YouTube channel. When the Moog 1 demos were coming out, right? If you watch some of them, the Moog 1 wasn't a $10,000 synth at that time. I think it was a $9,000 synth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when when they were doing those demos, dude, it was like they didn't know how to work the synth. Like the synth was incomplete.
Were the demos
And
enjoyable to watch?
and they're not, it's like, this is a $9,000 synthesizer.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like $9,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so like Moog kind of screwed the pooch there too. You know, because they had a product that was, it was bloated. Like
Yeah.
it was like over the top to the point where it's like they lost control of it. You know, it's like a speeding train, right, going off a track.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what the Moog 1 was. And if you watch Tim Shoebridge's demos, he talks about it all the time. He
Yeah.
talked about it. He talked about the whole, like, and you know what? You know what's crazy too is these trolls who made fun of me with the Moog 1. I called Moog and I talked to an engineer and I said, I'm turning knobs and nothing is happening. You know, I'm turning the cutoff frequency and nothing was happening on the Moog 1. Okay.
That's big
I
buckaroos to do that.
Okay, you know this synthesizer, the Pro 3, is just as complicated.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of the Pro 3, it's got 3 oscillators,
Mm-hmm.
okay? It's got all these filters. If this were a 16 voice, it would be equal to the Moog 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If the Moog 1 was a 3 voice paraphonic, it would be equal to this. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I was doing. But the Moog 1 was so disappointing. Horribly disappointing.
It disappointed a lot of people, man. Like I was saying something the other day, I was like, of all the comments I'm getting, it's 50-50, you know? 50 people love the Moog 1, 50%, and 50% hate it. And the 50% that hate it had a Moog 1 that didn't work, and they spent, listen, man, when you make a decision to spend eight, nine, $10,000 on anything, if you're a normal human being, it's a big, big, big decision.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want is to have that decision show up at your house and not work.
Why do
But
you
anyway,
think that I ordered the Prophet Rev 2 again?
yeah, dude, you've been
Coming
you've been
tomorrow.
you've been pitching that to me for a while, and I was looking at it today, and I'm like,
The Rev 2, I haven't tried the Novation Summit. I haven't tried the Novation Summit,
mm-hmm,
but I've heard Novation Summit demos. And I'm still of the mindset that the Rev 2 is the best polyphonic synth on the market.
a lot of people love it. Apparently, J3PO loves it. I got a buddy in Newfoundland who absolutely loves it. I got a couple people that are just saying that it's the Echo loves it. I mean, it's a synth that it seems to me can pretty much do it all. Like
It's a company. Sequential is a company that knows polyphonic analog.
mm-hmm,
That's the thing, you know. Now Moog is a company that knows monophonic analog. But even when Moog did the subsequent 37 and the sub 37,
mm-hmm,
those, I had the subsequent 37. The subsequent 37 could not even touch the Pro 3.
mm-hmm.
It honestly couldn't.
So you're a sequential boy now, aren't you? Come on, dude.
I'm like, I'm not a sequential boy. I wouldn't call myself a sequential boy. I'm
Hey,
just
man.
saying that when I love a synthesizer,
Yeah.
I love it. That's it, pretty much.
Well, I love the TE-05 right now, and I never even touched it before, so we're going to see how
You
much
know,
I like that soon.
maybe if I get a TE-05 and try it, who knows? I might love it. Who knows?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
All
I
right,
don't know.
so let's just wrap this up in a little bow with the Labyrinth, and we can move on. But the Labyrinth as a synthesizer, what do you think about it? So the Labyrinth as a West Coast synthesizer
It's
with
just
a wave folder, a corruptor on the dual sequencer, some bit crushing stuff involved. Obviously, it's got the regular,
it's a toy. It's not even a fun toy. I don't like it. I was like so unimpressed. I was telling you today. I said go look at the Mofo videos. Go watch the Mofo demos. And I found that Mofo that was at Reverb for $550, and it's got memory. You can save your patches.
$500. You can get a Hydrosynth Explorer. You can get a Mini Freak. You can get a
Oh, there you go.
Hydrosynth
Perfect.
desktop.
The Mini Freak is a perfect example. I would much rather have a Mini Freak than the Labyrinth. It's just a repackage, and they
Brother,
change. They do little tweaks here and there, but it's just another repackage.
how much does Moog love the Labyrinth if they rolled it out like this? Do you know what I mean? How much confidence and love do they have for that Labyrinth if they
I don't know.
orchestrated this rollout, or they messed up this? Because this is two mess ups on the Labyrinth. Apparently, they messed up the first one at Super Booth, and then they just suddenly messed up another one. You know?
I just don't know. I don't want to call these guys jugheads who obtain them, but obviously they're not like big YouTubers, right?
No, but also, I got a little conspiracy that those two might be Moog employees, man, and they might be doing a different kind of marketing right here, man.
That's another
Because
possibility.
those guys got 3,000 to 3,500 to 4,000 views on those videos.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if these two guys work at Moog, then this might be a very smart way to kind of do this. But who's talking about it besides you and I at the moment? You know, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
Todd Smith's got a video out, I think.
I wonder if Pure Ambient Drones got one.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see.
What do you think about that, Synth Drones?
He might get one. Does he still like Moog?
Oh God. Think of, he kills me. He got 3 synthesizers in a month's time. He got the Trigon. Um, what else did he get? He got the didn't he get the he got the Quantum. He got the 16 voice Quantum.
The Trigon got no love, bro. The Trigon gets no love.
Yeah.
Now, as the unofficial representative for Sequential, uh, is the Trigon even worth it?
No.
You know,
You see the price? Isn't it like $3,700?
I think it's 34 to 37, something
I
crazy.
picked up a used Rev 2 keyboard version,
Yeah,
a used one for what was it, 1,300?
dude, that's a good deal. 16
$1,300.
16 or 8.
16.
Ooh, heavy on the line.
Yeah.
Dude, so that's coming tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
So let me ask you a question now, just to jump off the Moog topic for a minute. Are you rebuilding your spaceship? I mean,
Don't know.
you know, a lot of people have been asking where you went. Listen, for some reason, everybody comes to me and says, "Where's SynthPunk's channel gone?" And I'm like, "I'm looking for it too. When I find it, I'll get it to you." And then we get these moments where you come into existence from parts unknown with the power dome, bro.
If I come back, I want to come back and give people something really worth watching and
I
listening
like
to.
that, man. I like that.
Yeah. 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 I want to give people something more, you know?
So,
Yeah.
do you have any idea? Like, you want to do like a more musical thing? You want to do more of like a this is actually me, who I am. You want to do like a mixture of like what you've been doing? Are you trying to think
The,
you want to pivot, or are you trying to just enjoy the
the,
show? And
the, the thing for me is that I'm tired of trying to, how do I say this without sounding like a dick? I'm tired of trying to help people.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I'm really trying to tell people, no offense to Behringer, but people are like, I could buy 5 Behringer synthesizers for the price of a Pro 3. And I'm like, but you're not going to be able to go into the areas you can. with the Pro 3. The Pro 3 is the best monophonic, paraphonic analog on the market. The Prophet Rev 2 is also the best polyphonic analog on the market. It
Dude,
is.
that's big claims, and I think you've owned enough synthesizers for anybody in the chat who doesn't know. How many synths have you owned in your day? Probably, you think, at one time.
Like over 60, a little over, just a hair over 60.
And how many did you have at once at one time? Do you think?
Like probably 50 something.
Damn, dude, that's a spaceship.
It was like, Emulator 2. It was like Prophet 5, Polybrute,
You
Matrix
ever,
Brute, Pro
you ever have
3,
the
subsequent
Oscar?
37. I had the Moog 1 and the Matriarch and the Grandmother on one table.
Wow. So you've tried them all. So come from
The,
your today, the Pro 3 and the Rev 2 in their lanes are the best.
let's talk about just monophonics, right? So I had the Korg MS-20.
Mhm.
Korg MS-20 is garbage, man.
Why?
Because it's so expensive for one reason, and you can't really do anything with it. It was horrible. It was a really bad experience. The subsequent 37, some people just love Moog and they'll buy it, but I don't know. The Pro 3 is insanity. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell everybody. Get a used standard edition for
There's
like
a few
13.
people who bought the Pro 3 because of a couple of your jams and demos and you talking about it. So, dude, can I tell you something? Um, you, brother, you are at your absolute best when you're in this lane. Like when you're in this lane with the knowledge you got, with the personality you have, and the energy you have. Man, this is such a beautiful, refreshing lane to have a conversation with you about, and for you to be creating content with, man. I've been saying this to you for a while now. I've been saying, this is when you're at your best. And the last show we did together, a bunch of people wrote me and was like, man, that was entertaining, and I saw a side of that guy that was impressive and knowledgeable and funny and hilarious, because you already are all those things, that. So I'm excited for you to maybe do a new channel and kind of like do what you want to do.
The thing is that I have actually owned Behringer synthesizers.
Say
So
good
it's
three good things about Behringer right now. Three good things about Behringer.
three good things about
Yeah.
Behringer. Uh, Let me try to think. I did take a sledgehammer to the Behringer Odyssey,
So they're durable.
and someone actually bought it in California.
After you broke it?
After I broke it, I put it on reverb, and this woman, who fixes high end vintage analog synths,
Yeah.
she fixes PPGs, she fixes memory Moogs. She bought it. I mean, I think it wound up costing me $10 to send it to her. I didn't really make any money off of the sale. Plus,
Yeah,
I
but
plus I
still.
destroyed it. And what can I say good about Behringer? That their prices are cheap. They're low. I think, what is it? Is it the TB? What's the yellow one
Oh, the
with the with the
TD3?
smile face?
Yeah, the modded
The T was it
TD3.
the TD3?
Yeah.
That's cool,
Hmm.
you know. But those little pocket ones, I don't know why they're making those.
I have a theory of why they make those. And my theory on why they make those is that those are the initial brainchilds for the larger synths. So they make the minis first in a mini form, and
Yeah,
and then instead of just kind of like scrapping it, they're like, well, we just made something, so why don't we monetize this? And they say, let's just sell a mini version of a UBXA. Let's sell a mini
yeah.
version. And they sell them for $49 and $99. They're literally, bro, stocking stuffers. And
That's right. Yeah,
so like I get where you're coming from with that. It makes no sense if you're into the big gear, but if you got no space and not a lot of cash and you want to get a Pro VS Mini, dude, that Pro VS Mini is supposed to be mind-blowing for $99.
Yeah, I mean, get the DeepMind 12 is going pretty low, right?
The
700.
DeepMind 12. What about the Barp 2600, man, for $499?
I had the Korg ARP Odyssey, and to be honest, I was right about the Behringer Odyssey. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I haven't heard
It
a lot of.
wasn't. It wasn't. I'm sorry. But Korg, and I owned an original ARP Odyssey when I was 17.
Yeah.
I had the original ARP Odyssey. And so when I got the Korg the Slim Key version, I was very impressed with it. But here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to tell people. Buying vintage synthesizers is redundant. Buying like so
Do you mean vintage as in old?
yes,
Okay, so not
buying
your
like a
re.
Korg
Yeah.
what is it? Like the Korg monopoly that they go for like $3,000?
Yeah.
Why would you do that when you could buy one of these used for 1,600?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's got memory and it's got a sequencer. It's got a badass sequencer, you know?
4 lanes of sequences on that Pro 3?
Four.
Dude. So okay, let's jump topics for a minute and just explore that idea that vintage synthesizers are redundant.
Yes, and also modular is redundant too.
All right, well let's hit why is vintage redundant
Well,
compared to.
because the prices are astronomical.
Mhm.
The prices are ridiculous. Like people really believe that a CS80 is like the grandfather of all vintage polyphonics.
Mhm.
Okay, I played a CS80. Okay, that was sold for 50 grand. My friend Seth sold it to Mark Ronson, who was the producer for Amy Winehouse. And when you have that much money, it's like, even the thing is, if I had as much money as Mark Ronson had, I would never buy a CS80.
What
I
about a
would never,
would you buy a Coca Quantus?
maybe. No, because okay, here's my thing about the Coco Quantas. Is the Coco Quantas cool? Of course it is. I mean, look at it. It's so cool. Okay, but when you think about the price of it,
Yeah.
in terms of like a Coco Quantas versus like a used Pro 3, well, why would I
Who
get
would
a Coco Quantas?
who would buy it?
I think a lot of these guys that get these synths, you know,
Well,
they just want to be edgy and cool. It's the same thing with guys with these huge modular systems, like Red Means Recording. You ever see his modular system?
yeah.
Bo Beats has a huge modular system. And the next thing is that if I do come back, I'm not gonna rip. I'm not gonna rip on other YouTubers. I won't do that.
I think that's a good idea, man.
I won't do that. But like for now, I'm not really like ripping on Bo Beats or
Sure, but you're
or
making an observation that they own a piece of gear.
I'm making an observation that a lot of these guys own these huge modular systems, and for what purpose? But to look cool.
But do you not think that some of these guys like getting lost? They have like this aptitude where they like getting lost in the wires and the generative soundscapes they can make, and almost like I feel like more like a mathematical equation solver. Like because you got to have a really interesting aptitude to go full modular. And I
If
mean
you,
that as a compliment.
yeah, I think though you can get lost and you can screw up if you're doing like a live performance with modular.
Yeah.
There's always the chance that you're going to plug in something that's going to make it go south.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to go haywire. It's not going to go where you wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
So like I saw Suzanne Ciani perform with the Buchla system, right?
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. Her performance was ethereal. It was on another level.
Really.
But she's an engineer and she's a composer.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
now an electrician.
yeah. And I also met her and I sat with her and talked with her. when I was at the Moog celebration in 2020 before COVID hit.
What'd you guys
That's,
talk about?
well, I went up to her and I said to Suzanne Ciani, I said Mio Italiano. So because she's Italian and I'm Italian, and then that was it. And I was like, can I get a picture with you? And she's like, oh yeah, certainly. She said certamente, certainly, right? And I sat there with her, and I was like, it was nice talking to you, thanks. And she's like, you can stay here, you can sit with me. And so I sat with her to watch Herb Deutsch speak, and I met Herb Deutsch after the show too. But yeah, I mean, modular, I think what you were saying hit the nail on the head. It's modular is kind of a thing where you just want to let loose.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to experiment
Total
and
exploration.
see where to take it.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I try to tell people is that you could do that with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because this will take you to those crazy places that you never thought possible.
There must be something. And like I said, I've never really got into modular. The closest thing I got was the Behringer Neutron. And I also found that to be like, oh, geez, like a little tiring for me to use the patch bays and stuff. And but I can see how you can have a vision and be like, I wonder what this does. Or if I want to do this, let me do this. And then you start doing it. And like when you look at these big walls of modular and they're full of spaghetti chords, and then suddenly this guy is like, this is exactly what I was thinking, then that's pretty crazy.
It is, but you also have to realize that
They're expensive,
when
man.
you want to do something else, everything's got to be pulled out.
Oh, that must
And
have
the knobs and the switches have,
yeah.
and then you're at square one again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then everything you did, you've lost it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you might be able to get it back,
Mm-hmm.
but
Probably not.
probably not.
On a Behringer Neutron, yes, but on like the giant Andrew H wall, or those big, when the dude's got the big walls of modular, dude, if you wire that thing up, it must be a very big decision to unwire it.
Yeah.
Just,
I just saw a comment by Hayes Anderson,
yeah.
and Hayes Anderson, how did I go back here? Hayes Anderson said, I think most people miss out on the real opportunity for modular, which is a chance to learn electronics. And I agree with what Hayes said.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what Hayes said. I agree with a lot of things that Hayes says.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could actually see myself getting a Buchla easel in
Yeah.
the future. I could see that happening, but I'm concentrating on like what I want in terms of workflow and production.
Yeah, and what brings the most joy, and
Yeah,
it's like synthesizers are more immediate than modular, and
yeah.
modular, and modular isn't cheap, it's not cheap to get into that game.
Right. But it's also an opportunity, like what Hayes said about learning about electronics. You could buy an empty box, you know, and fill it, and you can pick and choose whatever you want, and you're creating your own synthesizer,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool.
Yeah.
You're picking this one and picking that modular. What do you call them? Uh, the modules.
Yeah, yeah.
You're picking your own Eurorack modules,
Yeah, you're
and
like, I want this LFO. I would like to have this filter.
yeah, I'd
I'd like
like to have this by
this
Pittsburgh
amp.
Modular.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're getting something by Pittsburgh Modular or this other company or that other company, and you're making your own mongrel,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's
you
kind of
know,
interesting.
which is great. I like the Syntrix. I think the Syntrix is pretty cool.
Do you still have the bark?
Well, we all know that the Bark is not really a synthesizer.
Do you still have it?
It's right over there. Yeah, it's right over there
Dude,
in the chair.
grab it. Let me see
Oh,
that thing.
are you serious?
Yeah, I want to see the bark, man. I love the bark.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh yeah, someone just said the mongrels are amazing. Look at that. That's a piece of art, dude. Come on, man. That's
All
amazing.
you have to do is wave your hand over any stone and you can get a sound out of it. It's not it's not plugged in though.
Yeah, because the plug hasn't been invented for something that advanced yet.
The thing is, I found this in the woods and I just got the idea. It was after Soma Labs did the
The
Terra.
yeah,
So I was doing a spoof.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was spoofing Soma Labs.
Dude, you could probably get a few modules and hook them up to the bottom of that, and then make some sounds.
It's bark.
Dude, I love that. The people love that too. And you also got the bark puzzle, right?
I got the jigsaw puzzle, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Deadly, dude. Absolutely amazing. Uncle
Anyways.
Uncle Jerry's in the house.
Yep.
We got who we got in here? We got Fox Knuckles, Uncle Jerry. We got Hayes. We got the Echo Crafts, Harmonic Sonics, Banana Rider, Charles Bronson, Hayes. Got a few people on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hit the like button. People, come on, back. You got to hit the like button. But yeah, so man, let's circle back here for a quick second because I want to know, where do you think Moog will be in the next like year to 2 years? What do you think is going to happen to Moog?
They're gonna probably like rent some old bus garage that's out of commission.
You think so?
I
Well,
don't know. I don't know. I mean, they've gotten rid of their flagship. Okay, they are no longer doing the Moog one.
gone.
They still are working on the Moog Muse, but we've heard nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've never received a legitimate demo.
All we heard
They
was a bunch of NDAs signed at Super Booth. That's all we know about the Moog Muse.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Here's my thoughts. Usually, Moog will give a product to someone in the UK, right?
Yep.
So, Tim Shoebridge, you've lost your chance
Yeah.
because Tim was very honest about the Moog one. Very honest about it. Some of the demos he did and the discussions that Tim Shoebridge did were very complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but like he told me, he goes, "Don't tell anybody I'm getting rid of the Moog one."
Why?
Because there's this shaming
Yeah.
against people who sell their Moog ones.
It's like, how
It's
dare you?
it's like it's self-shaming. You see what
Yeah.
I'm getting at?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you were had by the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And no one likes to be had by a company. Like to buy something, spend a lot of money, and then it turns out to be a turd.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
then I
it's a
know. And then,
$10,000 turd.
yeah, it's like if you buy a car and you come home and you're so pumped, and then you go to drive it the next day and the engine goes.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
I
yeah.
don't know
So where do you see them? Like,
what.
where do
Well,
you
oh, Moog.
you think they will release the Muse, and then that will be the Phoenix Rising? Do you think that they're banking on this Muse so hard right now? Because that's a big release, dude. To get rid of your Moog One, which is your flagship synth, and now replace your flagship synth with the Moog Muse, because that's your flagship now, right?
Moog has to create excitement. Okay. They've been sitting on the DFAM and the Mother 32 and the Subharmonicon for a long time. And what do? They come out with this Labyrinth,
Yeah, and the
which
Spectrum.
is and the Spectravox,
Yeah.
okay? And the Spectravox is crap. I'm telling it like I see it. No one has to agree with me,
Yeah, yeah.
okay? But to me, my friend bought no, my friend, well, he did buy it. He bought the Spectravox a long time ago when they had the Moog celebration in Asheville. So he had a Spectravox years ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, I put it together. And I think it was discounted, heavily discounted.
Yeah.
So you paid a fee to get into this whole thing, and then you got a Spectravox kit and you put it together. And he's like, it doesn't do much, you know? So here's what Moog has to do. The matriarch, the grandmother, the subsequent 37 need to disappear. Moog needs to come out with a monophonic, okay, that is going to be affordable, like a $2,000 monophonic.
Yep.
You know, but it's got to be something better. The screen on the subsequent 37 is this tiny little screen in the far left.
The days of tiny screens leave the chords.
Where's the screen on the Pro 3? It's right in the center.
That's where it should be.
It's right in the center, and it's big.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's easy to read. Okay, like the Pro 3 has one of the best screens of all synthesizers, almost. I think pretty much.
People are saying, what about a Prodigy clone with memory storage?
This is what I'm trying to tell people. I owned a Prodigy. The Prodigy has like maybe 10 tricks.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with a Prodigy?
I don't know. Is the Mini Moog better than the Prodigy?
If the Mini Moog had presets,
yeah,
fantastic.
This is what I think they should do. I think they should do the Mini Moog Lite, and it should be made with cheaper quality stuff and have presets.
See, you should work for Moog.
Like, doesn't that make sense? Like, why wouldn't they just take that, which is like, people are still going to buy the Mini Moog because it's made its place in time. People love it. And I don't think there's anybody who plays it who doesn't say, they absolutely have this, like, ayahuasca experience. But if they were to take the Mini Moog and make the Mini Moog Lite for, say, $1,500 to $2,000, maybe even $2,500.
It's like this. If Studio Electronics can make the SE3X, which is a 3-voice paraphonic, okay, with crazy filters, okay, ladder filter, Oberheim filter. If Studio Electronics can get out a rack unit for $2,200, right?
And that's a small company.
That's a small company.
And now you got in-music distribution, parts supply. You got all the stuff now. You can get that out for $199.99.
Right. Now, going back to what you said, if they were to create a Mini Moog, okay, with presets, but it doesn't have the elaborate chunky wood and everything like that. Yeah. But it might kind of resemble a subsequent 37 slightly.
Yep. Yeah.
But if they can do that with presets, it's a no-brainer. But it can't cost $5,000.
No.
Okay.
Not going to.
it's the reason why the Mini Moog is $5,000 is because of two things.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a Mini Moog of old.
Yeah.
Okay. And because it has mystique.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because they actually got it to sound like a Mini Moog. And the mystique. Because you could buy a $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 Musonics Mini Moog.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound exactly like the Musonics. It's going to do the same thing.
So we kind of got a SynthPunk AMA going on. Echo wants to know, do you think In Music will revamp Moog?
They're not doing a good job right now. They're not. They're doing like they are doing a horrible job.
Yeah, this is a bad makeover.
They're doing a horrible job. But here's the thing. Here's the flip side. If Moog was to be able to create, like what you said, a Mini Moog Lite, right?
Yeah.
With presets, and if it came out at $3,000, it would probably piss off a lot of people who bought the Mini Moog.
Yeah, so you
They'd
probably
have to
connect the name. Like you said, you'd have to name it something else. Like someone just said, name it the Moog Journey, which is a
yeah
very cool one. You know,
yeah.
there's so
Here's the other flip side. The thing about the Mini Moog is that you don't need to use all 3 VCOs on a sound.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes I use one sound,
mm-hmm,
sometimes one VCO for a sound,
yep,
and it's beautiful. Sometimes I use 2. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that goes the same thing with the Pro 3. Sometimes some of the sounds I make on the Pro 3, I'm only using 2 VCOs, or I'm
mm,
only using 1 VCO
yeah.
in paraphonic mode. And it's just, you know what the thing is? The Pro 3 is so much fun. And Hayes Anderson refuses to buy a Pro 3. But if Hayes Anderson had a Pro 3 in his crazy hands, he would love it. You will fall in love with the
I
Pro
think
3.
Hayes would like the Pro 3. After hearing some of his music and hearing what you do with it sometimes, I'm like, I think Hayes would like the Pro 3 too.
Hayes would sleep with it.
Yeah, TE05 is the winner though, baby. TE05 is the poly synth of 2024, according to Nick Bat and Sonic State, baby. So I'm going with TE05 from the Big Don Nick Bat. You know it, I know it. That's
I
what
don't know. It's not going to have the sequence. The TO5 is not going to have the sequencer.
here's
It's
a
not
word.
going to have the
Here's a word from
sequencer.
our sponsor.
Behringer crab meat synthesizer.
Yeah, dude, you gotta put that crab. Well, that crab meat synthesizer video is really good, man. I
Right.
I, I really like that. That was cool. That was very cool. All day.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I got a dart here now, man. The mosquitoes are getting crazy. And
Okay.
you like this format?
It's fun.
I like this format. It's efficient. It's easy. You can
Yeah.
we both get to see the chat, and it seems like it's
Yeah.
coming in clear.
Yeah.
And you can bang out a show instantaneously. Are you interested in coming back on sometime? Or are you gonna disappear on me again?
I'll come on. Yeah, sure.
Sweet, bro. So listen, send me a video of the Rev 2 tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and you can play it on your show.
Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, synth. Okay, this is what we'll do. You do a Rev 2 review.
Okay.
Doesn't need to be long, but just to like
Yeah,
see.
just a couple minutes.
Cool.
All right.
All right,
That'd
man.
be
So I
fun.
had to go spend some time in the house there now and get eaten alive out here. A-
Flu flu.
Absolute pleasure talking to you again, man. And I think everybody in the chat loved it. And Echo's like, let's get a show going. We'll get a freaking huge show going. I'm trying to figure out something where we can get like 10 people on the screen at once.
People do that, you know.
I think I can gear it up. I think I can
I think
figure.
we should get Echo Craft, you, me, Echo Craft. We should get Hayes Anderson.
I think anybody in the Kumite wants to come
We,
on. Come on,
we
we'll get
got yeah, we definitely yeah.
do it all because the Kumite, and I think in Discord I might be able to gear it up where I got the Zoom. I might be able to just send a link and everyone goes zooms in, 10-man shoot off. Like
Yeah, I think because a while back, Kiko Beats and me and Hayes Anderson did a video together,
yeah.
and that was fun. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We got really silly.
So we'll get it going, man. Absolute pleasure. We'll be talking, and great chat, man. And we will see
Okay,
what happens with the Moog Labyrinth, dude.
let's do it.
So before I go, Moog exists in 3 years or not?
I don't know,
Are
man.
they
I'll tell you this. I'll
all the
tell you
way?
this.
Yeah.
The Moog Muse is not going to be showing up on Sweetwater probably till the end of October.
Okay.
Think about
Interesting.
that. Think about how damaging that is to the company right there.
Yeah, I think this Moog Labyrinth. This is the last thing I'll say because we need to hammer Moog. Because like I'm rooting for Moog and you're rooting for Moog. I know we both are, right? So we're just observing, talking, speculating, and enjoying this moment to try
Yeah.
and figure out what's going on because that's what we enjoy doing. And I think that
But
this Moog
wait a second. What's the Polybrute 12 costing now?
Polybrew 12 is $3.99 or $3,899, I think.
Okay. It's $3,000?
Well, 3800 or 3900. So basically 4. It's
Oh,
under.
the Polybrew 12 is 4,000.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Right. That's why it's rough. That's a rough match.
I don't know, man. It's still the same synthesizer. That's what kind of puts me off because I had the Polybrew 6 voice.
That is the one thing, is that it is the same minus the full touch and 6 voices.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
That's kind of, I don't know. A lot of these companies are just like repackaging stuff and adding a
but
couple of things.
did you watch Nick Bat's Polybrew 12 demo?
Is it recent?
Yeah, he just put it out, and the
I'll check it out.
first initial thing he played, right? He does a little intro first.
Yeah.
Thing sounds good, man. Sounds good. And I think, dude, for $4,000, the Muse is going to have to come in at 3,999. I'm calling it right now. The Muse is coming in at under 4. There's no way they're going over 4.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll do a killer demo of the Rev 2 for you.
All right, man. You're the brother, or you're the man. Keep it real, brother.
All
And
right.
all right, we'll be talking.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Chat. Take it easy.
Shoo, shoo.